Tonight, we put a spotlight on the Parliament of Ghana, where the Speaker has been taking on MPs and taking them to the cleaners as he engages in yet another power play with his first deputy. We'll also be delving into why the minority is up in arms against the Finance Minister over the District Assembly's Common Fund. But we are still following the biggest political story in the country today, which is to do with the status of the Kwabenya Member of Parliament as government struggles to get her into the country to do the business she was elected and appointed for. After this break. You're welcome back. My name is Raymond Darkwa, and this is UPfront. First, let's start from Parliament, but for perhaps the biggest political story in the country today. The Member of Parliament for Kwabenya, Adwoa Safo, is having problems with this party. In fact, she's been, according to the members of the party and also another Member of Parliament, very much incommunicado. Very little has been heard of her role in Parliament and also in the ministry as Gender, Social Protection and Children Minister. That is insane. Some members of the party, even the General Secretary, is worried about this trend, and all attempts to get her in the country to play the role as Minister and MP is failing. What can be done to salvage the situation? My guest is a man of extraordinary experience. He's been Chief of Staff before, and he's also been a Member of Parliament, if you didn't know, in 1979. Kojo Piani, you're welcome to UPfront.
Thank you.
Chief, let's start from what's currently happening. Now, the Member of Parliament perhaps holds the key to government getting a key legislation in place, which is to do with the e-levy passage in Parliament. Again, she is in charge of a very critical ministry. That is a cabinet ministry for children, gender, and social protection. If anything we have heard so far is to go by, she has been very uncooperative when it comes to getting back to do these two jobs. One, being a minister, and two, being a Member of Parliament. I mean, from your experience, has this ever happened in this republic?
Not that of what I know of. I am not aware of anything happening, no.
How best do you think, first, government, as in the executive, can handle this?
Well, I don't know why the lady has been absent from Parliament. The first thing is to find out why he's not coming to Parliament. I believe there are rules and laws governing attendance in Parliament by members. So if he has the permission of the Speaker to be absent from Parliament, then there may be a reason for her absence. Until I know the reason why she's absent, I think it's very difficult to comment on it. Maybe she's not well. If she's not well, you can't force her to come to Parliament. But if she's on her own has decided not to come to Parliament, then the rules are clear. After a certain number of days, I'm not too sure of it now. She's regarded as being absent from Parliament for that time of night, but she loses her place in Parliament. So first we must find out why she's not coming to Parliament. That's very
We understand she got permission to be away on health grounds for the first period, but that's last year. But this year, this permission was not renewed when she asked for it. That is, she actually wanted to be away, but she has exceeded the constitutionally mandated period of 15 sitting days.
The understanding responsibility of the Speaker to take action on that.
You think the Speaker ought to act?
Within the Speaker's grasp to take action on that. If she has not given any Member of Parliament permission to be absent, and that member on his or her own has decided to absent himself or herself from Parliament, then the rules are very clear. The Speaker should take action.
There's also a part of all of this that the leadership of Parliament on her side have been worried about. Because Kwabenya is a very big constituency, a huge one for the NPP. The fear is that any action might let the party not making the same inroads they made in the last election. How careful should this management be that's coming from the leadership of Parliament on the majority side?
I don't think this should be a matter for minority or majority to decide. It's very clear. a member should not absent himself or herself for a certain number of time, days. You can only do that with the permission of the Speaker. And if the Speaker has not given you permission and you've done that, then the Speaker should take action on that. This is very clear. So the consequences of Speaker's action, a party should then look at it, what is going to happen, because the party has no control over whether the Speaker is going to allow the person to report the person and therefore have the person thrown out of Parliament. A minority or majority have no power over that. So this is strictly the responsibility of the Speaker. It should be the Speaker who should take action on it if the Speaker has not given her permission to stay out of Parliament.
The constitutional provision actually provides that she should be referred to the Privileges Committee. The committee will make a determination as to whether her absence was with or without justified cause. I mean, the complaint that's already coming from the governing party today is that they need to treat this carefully because she's also a minister. She's been away from office for a very long time as minister. The indication we've gotten from another member of parliament who is also very related to or has a close relation with the minister who's away, that's the Honorable Kennedy Japan, is that she had demanded to be made deputy majority leader, a position she previously occupied. According to Kennedy Japan, the minister no longer wants to be minister, and that if this demand is not acceded to, or if she doesn't get her way, she will not play ball and come and do the work that she's supposed to do. That's the more reason why she's been away from government for a very long time.
I don't know how true that is. If that is the position, then maybe the Parliament or the majority side is not doing what it is supposed to do. It's the side who determines who should be the leader, who should be the deputy leader. So if the majority side, I believe in consultation with the general party, has decided that somebody should be a leader, somebody should be a general secretary, a deputy leader. No member of the House can say, give me this position. On what basis are you asking that position is given to you? Because that's the decision of the majority in consultation with each party. So if they're taking the decision, why should they remove the person who is there and give it this position to you? What special qualification do you have so that you think you must be made the deputy leader? I don't know if it is true, but I hope it's not true.
But in fairness, she was the deputy leader in the previous parliament. I mean, it's a position that's been taken away from her, rather, because she was the deputy leader in previous cabinet, parliament.
You don't go to parliament with, why should I put it, with a proud sort of that I'm going to be this or that. It was given, he was the deputy because the majority and the party at that time decided that he would be the deputy. With this new parliament, they say, no, you can't be the deputy. Fortunately for you, the president has made you a minister of state. So how can you say that you give this position to me by all means? Is there any special reason why she made the deputy leader? I don't know. I don't see my way clear in even entertaining something like that. If that's what he's asking for, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. This is what somebody said. But if that is what he's asking for, I think the majority and the party should let them know that, sorry, you can't get it.
But some said she's been treated with kid gloves. They are actually treating her nicely instead of trying to play ball, because there's a big bill. That is the e-levy on the table, which has not been dealt with for God knows how long because of the stalemate this situation is creating. Should the leadership on the side be tougher in dealing with this matter?
You see, that's what I started by saying. I don't know why he's not in. Maybe he's not well. I don't know. Maybe he's really not well, either emotionally, either depression, or maybe something other serious. And so we should really look into that. Why is he doing that? If you find out if she's not well, you must help her to recover from whatever she's suffering from. That's very important. I believe that's the first thing to look at. As for the kid gloves or whatnot, you see, he's a member of parliament. I mean, you have to talk to her. You have to find out her reasons for not doing this. It must be done amicably. I mean, if you force some of these things, if you come to parliament and vote against the government, what can he do against the government? He has a right, every right to say that I'm not going to accept the whip and vote against you. So that maybe what you want to achieve, you may not do that. So I believe you really find out what is really wrong with her. That's very important. That is very, very important. And help her to recover from whatever is bothering her.
Now, there's a question, though, about her role as minister. Now, the chief of staff have been trying to get her to play ball, get to work, come to parliament, and also be the minister that she's supposed to be in the gender ministry. We understand that has not been so fruitful. You have been chief of staff before. Is that how difficult the job is?
I don't want you to hear that. You were appointed by the president. I'm given a job to do. So if you are not doing the job, what should I do as a president? You either resign from the job or I sack you. So that part of the problem, I don't see the real problem there. Being a minister and begging the minister to go and work, it never happens anywhere. I've given you a job to do as a minister. You didn't come to me or nobody asked me to appoint you. Maybe I saw something good in you, so I appointed you to be a minister of state. You're not going to work and you want me to come and beg you to go and work? No, it didn't happen that way.
But Chief,
that did not happen.
Is it not because this is a very dicey situation? She's needed in parliament. If you get her angry, she may turn up against the numbers you need so much to pass relevant bills and run the country from parliamentary and the way you ought to do it. Is it not the reason why some more tact?
You see, this whole question of parliament and voting, we should accept that we are in different times. You have a parliament which is almost split, 50-50. So your approach to parliament should be different from when you have a majority of 169 to 100 or 100 and something. At this stage, compromises are what you have to what you have to look at. And let me give you an example. When we were in Parliament in 1979, we had a similar situation. All the minority parties the number was 69. And the majority, the PMP, they had 72. It was so close. I remember in one instance, the president then, the late president, invited leaders of the House, both majority and minority, to a breakfast or something like that. And I appealed to them that there was some bill which was coming in, and therefore appealed to them, convinced them to accept this and vote for it. We in minority didn't know it, but our leader had gone there. He'd been convinced by the president, and he said, "Okay, we're going to support you." When he came back and went to caucus, we debated that bill, and the majority of them that we should reject it. There was a heated argument at the caucus. So our leader said, "Well, fine, I hear you all." But I was invited by the president. I got the president convinced me, and I told the president that we are going to support him. There and then everybody said, if our leader has committed this, we can't go to the floor of the House to disgrace our leader, and therefore we must go with our leader. You see, the president invited them, talked to them, convinced them. I remember during those times, President Liman, whenever he was traveling to AU or other, if you ask President Kufuor, he will tell you, at that time he was spokesperson on foreign affairs. At times he will go with them. So we are in a different situation. So we shouldn't be looking at this current problem with Honorable Adwoa Safo. We should be looking at the better way, the best way. For 3 years we are going to have this situation. So as a nation, we look at the best way of resolving such issues. We shouldn't go to Parliament and fighting there. We won't agree, we agree, and what. That is not the way to go. I think that's not the way to go now. The way to go is not leadership to now consult, leadership to convince, leadership to accept consensus, so that for the next 3 years at least, the country can move on. This climate we have, and I don't think it's the best for the country.
Who should lead this exercise? Who?
The leadership, the president, and the leadership of the House. Our president and leadership of the House. This is the way I believe we should go. If we don't do that, we are in a serious situation. Now, look at what is happening in the U.S., for example. If we take their Senate, they are 50-50. When there's a tie, then the vice president comes in as president and breaks it. You see that the president of the United States inviting senators, convincing them, talking to them. There's nothing wrong about that. That's the way to go. I remember our president himself, I think during the inauguration or something, talked about what the country has given us. That the country wants us to cooperate. Because they have given us a parliament which is split, 50-50. And therefore, I remember if I just to paraphrase him or saying that something like cooperation is the most important thing now. And I believe that's what we should do.
Though you referenced
now by Adwoa Safo, that may pass. But there are other bills and other controversial things which come before the parliament. Do you want them to be doing this every time? No, I don't think that's the way to go.
That's saying that leadership has currently failed if it has not reached consensus on these matters. Do you agree?
I will agree with you on that. I will definitely agree with you on that. I will definitely agree with you on that. Leadership, and when I talk of leadership, the presidency is leadership of parliament.
You think they have failed too?
I mean, on this issue, what you are happening now, I would say yes.
There's one more question, though. People are saying, regardless of all that you say about what Liman did, your side still led the rejection of his budget. Explain to us how that happened.
This rejection of budget is very interesting. I think people really didn't know what really happened in Parliament. There wasn't anything which was planned. Let him tell you for the first time. It wasn't planned by our side that we were going to reject the budget. No. We never met to decide that we were going to reject the budget. What really happened was that our whip at that time, Dr. Manson, who had been in Parliament for some time and knew the rules, when we were debating the budget, he counted the number of people that he realized that we were more than them. So he asked the speaker to put the question. The speaker looked around and realized that we were more than them. So he beckoned, I remember he beckoned the leader of the majority at that time, Mr. Spiti, and whispering to him, I believe he was telling him that there weren't too many of them there. So he should bring his people in. So the speaker said we should continue debating because other people wanted to talk. So we continued talking and talking for another 45 minutes. So the Manson got up again and said, the speaker, but we're repeating the same thing. So put the question. The speakers will go on for some time. Then Mr. Fiti sent his people around. Then when they looked at it, they thought they were more than us. But Dr. Manson has counted them and realized that we were more than them. So he got up again and asked the speaker to put the question. The speaker also thought that maybe they were more than us. And when we counted, we were more than them. It was never planned that we met and decided that we're going to reject the budget. This is what happened.
So it's apparently poor management of how the business was supposed to go.
That's exactly so. That's exactly so. Our attitude to work, you know, instead of them coming in. I remember after we were voted, I just went out. First when you go out, I saw some of the PMP members sitting outside, and I said, hey, you don't know what's happening. Your budget has been rejected. So how? So this question of showing Dr. Liman's budget, I will tell you that our group never met to decide that we're going to throw out the budget. That is what happened.
Chief, what can the party NPP do, the leadership of the party, the national chairman, the secretary, and the people that are on the party side? What can they do to try and settle this matter amicably?
Which of the matter?
I'm talking about the issue to do with the MP, Adwoa Safo.
I believe they should call her. I think they should find out from her what is really worrying her.
They say they've been trying to reach her without success.
I think there should be somebody who can reach her. Her father, for example, is a religious man. So why don't talk to the father and say, we've been trying to get your daughter, we can't get her.
John Boyd said they have tried. That has not been successful.
There may be something more seriously wrong with the lady than what we are being told. I don't know, but that's my feeling. That's what I think there may be something more serious than what we are being told. So you must find a way of reaching her to find out what really is wrong with her.
Finally, if you're unable to resolve this problem, because there are bills that are lined up to be dealt with, the issue of Parliament's current nature too, if you're unable to resolve and reach consensus, what are the possible consequences of such a state?
The consequence is that no bill is passed. The country is a mess, chaos.
Chief,
if we can't reach any consensus on any of it, and I believe people in Parliament are reasonable people. People on the other side of the political divide are also reasonable. There are some reasonable people there. So I believe it's possible to have a consensus on so many issues. And we should try as much as possible to do that. We can get others to help us. Some well-known religious leaders who are respected within the society. Let's try to come together as a country to move the country forward. We can't be doing this. We are not in normal time. So this thing cannot continue forever.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You used to be a member of the National Council or so of the NPP. If you are still on that particular panel, can you intervene?
I'm not, but I can make a suggestion to my colleagues. That please, let's find a way out of this. We can't continue like this.
I am grateful to you, and I'm grateful for opening your doors to me this evening. Thank you so much, sir. Kojo Pianim is a former chief of staff. Under John Kufuor, he was the second chief of staff. First, it was the late Jacob Bichebe Lamte. Then he took over. He was also a member of parliament in 1979. So if you wondered why he was telling us how the budget rejection happened, how that particular parliament also had similar difficulties like this particular parliament, that is why he had to come in on that. In studio with me is the member of parliament who is not only spokesperson for the minority in Ghana's parliament. He's also a member, he's actually ranking on the communications committee. He's also a member of the privileges committee, the Honorable ABA Fuseni. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Raymond.
I hope you are doing well.
Yeah, I miss you for some time now.
Yes, I have missed you too. A lot of times since I had a conversation with you. Yeah. But you are making it difficult for government to operate nowadays. First, let's start with what's the minority's stance on this whole issue to do with Adwoa Safo. There are attempts to get her removed. Kojo Pianis says the leadership to talk to you more, reach a consensus beyond Adwoa Safo, you will do business together so that it comes to some understanding. He believes even the executive president should intervene. Would that calm your nerves?
My first question, in fairness, and Adwoa Safo, let me say it from the very, he's a very good friend and a colleague in parliament. And I ask myself now, why only Adwoa Safo? Raymond, I can tell you as a matter of record, members of parliament from the MPP side, a number of them, some of whom have stayed, one at a certain point, even for over a year, one whole year, without permission. A former member from former West Achim.
Former member of parliament.
Yes.
I'm talking about this parliament, not the...
I'm just giving you evidence of people who have overstayed.
Yeah.
For which there has been no demand for any action to the movement.
What are you saying that...
Okay, and I'm just telling you now, even currently.
Yeah.
Names have come up. Honorable Kennedy Japan. You mentioned more than the 2 months or so. We are talking about Honorable Henry Kwati. Okay, and you go through the records and proceedings, which is the true reflection of the attendance to the house.
Yes.
You will see all this. So I ask, why only Adwoa Safo? Because Raymond, it boils down to the issue of nothing but this desperate attempt to pass this obnoxious, insensitive, and wicked e-levy. That's what it comes to.
You're also not worried that a minister of state has not been to the office for quite a while.
So I'm saying that's why why only. I didn't say why here.
Okay, but the other...
But I'm saying that if you want to demand accountability...
We have been seeing the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Henry Kwati, delivering on the job. We have been seeing the wonderful work he is doing. We have not seen the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection equally be out there and deliver on her mandate, the one that we pay her for as minister.
Raymond, do you know the current issues that are at stake? You see, when you see a chief warrior fleeing from the battlefield, it tells you that his recruits have been massacred. There's something nasty that has happened on the battlefield.
I don't understand.
Is it ordinary for a minister of state to desert her office?
Is that not the more reason why you should also be interested in bringing her to order so that we get to know these things?
Because that is an issue of bad governance. It speaks to bad governance.
But this is an internal party engagement. It has nothing to do
with it. The state has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with the MPP party. Ghana as a state is distinguishable from the MPP as a political party.
I get your point.
So when you are a minister of state, you are not a minister for MPP.
I get you.
You are a minister of state for the Republic of Ghana, which encompasses other political parties.
Is that not the reason why you...
So I want to point that clear that it is not a matter. When MPP say it is not your matter, it is our matter. They are subsisting on the resources of the state, funded by the taxpayer, including you and I.
I agree.
So it is not their exclusive domain so to operate. It is not.
My point is...
So I'm just indicating that when they are inflicting their incompetence and they are out of bad governance, they should not use that as an excuse to let the burden fall on the taxpayer. It is not.
Is that not the more reason why you should be interested in helping resolve this matter by getting her to Parliament, explaining to you, as in summoning her and asking her to come and...
You mean, Raymond, we in the minority group getting her to come to Parliament?
But what's wrong with that?
Is it within our domain? Is that our responsibility?
I'm saying that you should ask this question.
We have a responsibility, Raymond. I and the leadership of my group, led by our dynamic Honorable Haruna Idrisu, we have a duty to bring our members.
Yeah.
And I can tell you at all material times, we have been able to assemble our 137 members. That shows competence in leadership. If you choose a leader and he cannot assemble the numbers, he's not competent.
I'm not saying you should bring her in.
So it is their duty, not us.
I'm not saying you should bring her in as MP. I'm saying you should bring her in to come and account for why she's been away for long, even as a minister. Aren't you interested in that?
Yes, Raymond. That's
what because it's our taxes that you see to pay there, right?
Raymond, if you haven't caught the madman, how do you talk of shaving him? You have to get him or get her first. And that duty of getting them first is not the duty of the NDC. It is the duty of the leadership of the NPP in Parliament.
Has any of you...
Led by the leader of government business, Honorable Osei Chairman Sabosu. That is his duty.
ABF Husseini.
Yes.
You in the minority.
Yes.
You have actually asked for ministers to come and explain to you things in Parliament.
Sure.
In fact, you have sought to censure one for failing to respond to some of these queries.
Yes.
Why have you not asked the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection to come and account for her stewardship in Parliament?
Yes, I'm sure that, Raymond, you are aware that this is a process. You cannot summon all ministers of state at a go.
Yeah.
And so for those who have questions to answer now, it may well be. Maybe even after we leave here, there may be questions asked of...
So you don't think that there are gender, children, social protection?
I'm saying that maybe after we leave here, it may well be that there will be issues of accountability for which people may want to ask Honorable Adwoa Safo to come and account. So that's why I say it's a process. The fact that she's not come in so far handy does not preclude the fact that she may be on the way to answer questions. But at the material moment that we are talking, we are saying that the actions that they want to take on against her is discriminatory. Really? I said other members of Parliament have done even worse. I've told you that a member of Parliament even went for 1 year. There are current sitting members of Parliament who have absented themselves for more than 50 mandatory days.
How do you
know? They are working free. Nobody has asked them anything.
How do you know it's without permission?
No, I'm saying that if you look at if you take the rules and procedures,
Yes.
on a daily basis, when you come, you record your attendance.
Yeah.
You sign. There's an attendance sheet.
I get that.
So Raymond, when you sign the attendance sheet, it indicates your presence in the house.
I see.
If you are not there, and maybe for some reason, maybe you are not well, you seek the permission of your leadership, which is conveyed to Mr. Speaker.
Yeah.
And Mr. Speaker is told that Mr. So is not in Parliament today, but he's not feeling well. And so he has sought permission to stay out of Parliament. So you have another column where it is indicated absent but with permission. Then you have the third column where for no reason you are not in Parliament. Your leadership cannot account for you. Mr. Speaker has not been formally told why you are not in the House. So that is where the absenteeism, and that is where that provision falls on the 15-day, mandatory days, non-attendance, then invokes all these other things to kick in. So this is where we are. But I'm saying that a number of them have also fallen foul. Why Adwoa Safo? Why Honorable Adwoa Safo alone? And that's why I'm saying that it boils down to nothing but this e-levy battle that is in Parliament today.
But that's a key government policy. So, I mean, what's the problem with that? If government wants members in Parliament to come and vote for its bill, which is really why they are there, what's wrong with that?
See, let me go on about Adwoa Safo. You see, for whatever reason, Raymond, our people say that, look, if somebody voluntarily passes bad air on you, and you are overzealous to retaliate, you will bring out the real thing. Today,
yeah,
Raymond, the MPP, in their zeal to overzealousness to retaliate against Honorable Adwoa Safo, they have brought out the real thing. They have sweat themselves.
How?
Because you hear,
so?
even some people are so oblivious and ignorant of the constitution and the standing orders of the House regarding even how to get her out. They just think that, oh, by just saying that we have suspended her or we are demanding her to be removed from Parliament, she's out of Parliament.
Wow,
it's an elaborate process.
Really?
Yes.
You don't think
you
that...
even go through the Privileges Committee.
Sorry,
Mr. Speaker will have to even refer the matter following that complaint to the Privileges Committee.
But that process is separate from a party saying that she's no longer part of us.
Even if you say that,
yes,
that by no means will not take her out of Parliament the next day.
Really?
She will have to go through a process, of course. She will have to go unless you voluntarily cross carpet.
Oh, okay.
Like it happened in the case of
Why you say?
my senior brother,
Professor
Wayoseni, that you voluntarily get up and walk over to the other side and tell the whole world that you have left your party and crossed to the other side. You have taken that.
You say that if the party sacks you.
Yes, I'm indicating to you that will be a first step. That is not a conclusive step. There are many things which, obviously, like I said, will be referred to Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker will have to refer that matter to the Privileges Committee. The Privileges Committee will have to come with a recommendation to the plenary, the entire plenary of the House, to look at it. And the plenary will have to take a decision on 2/3 majority. I can tell you without any iota of doubt that we will not support the removal of Honorable Adwoa Safo.
How does an MP who fails to show up in Parliament, exceeding a number of days, how does that serve your interest? If your interest is strengthening the institution of Parliament, if you are interested in proper representation, are you not worried about the people of Kwabenya and whether or not they have proper representation in Parliament?
Raymond, I am as worried about my colleagues on my side as I am worried as colleagues on the other side. First and foremost, we are all colleagues.
I see.
We are all colleague members of Parliament. And so if injustice is meted to anyone, whether it is from our side or their side, we should be duly concerned.
Apart from this, your equalization term, what is the injustice here?
Raymond, as we speak now,
yeah,
do we know what condition or state Honorable Adwoa Safo is in? Do you know that?
The party will know. The government will.
Have they told us? Have they indicated to Ghanaians
have you asked
that she's fine, she's free, she's everything, and yet has chosen willfully not to come to Parliament?
Have you asked them?
They have a duty to disclose to us.
Do you trust
because
Japan?
When they, he's my very good friend. I mean, those in Parliament will tell you that he was a chairman of the committee, and I was a ranking member. We've had very good relations.
He's been saying a lot of things about the status. Do you agree?
Respectfully, I disagree with some of the things he said.
Okay.
Truthful as they may sound, and sometimes Honorable Kenajapong has a way of telling truth bluntly.
Okay.
But even though in certain instances he overshoots.
Okay.
And I have had the opportunity to draw his attention.
What do you disagree with in what he has said?
So in some of the things I disagree. Because I'm saying that now, nobody has disclosed to us. What is the current state of the condition of Honorable Adwoa Safo? We don't know. So we may be sitting down and thinking that willfully everything is okay and that she has decided not to come to Parliament.
But once
you may be wrong. You don't know.
Communicate that to anybody else. I mean, she's a minister of state. She's a member of Parliament. She has.
Is it not the same government, Raymond? This same government indicated that they had granted her excuse duty. Am I lying?
But how do you know?
Raymond, am I lying?
Yes, they did.
This same government had indicated to Ghanaians that she had been given leave to attend to a problem.
Yeah.
And even when the time expired, they extended it.
Yeah.
So when did the extension end? Raymond, when did the extension end?
But have you asked these questions in Parliament?
Yes, we've been asking their leadership.
On the floor of Parliament.
What? No, Adwoa's matter has not come on the floor of Parliament.
But you should raise it. You in the minority should raise it.
Raymond, I'm just saying that when you are hungry, you don't jump into the cooking pot.
Okay. So this is a matter of time,
you mean? You wait for the food to be prepared for your portion to be given you. Is that not it? So why should we jump
when would this happen?
Over this matter?
But it's some time. It's more than 15 days.
I am saying that, Raymond, the fundamental responsibility of dealing with this matter lies with the leadership of the New Patriotic Party in Parliament. Respectfully. It is not our duty.
Assume they failed. You can't do anything?
I am saying that, Raymond, you don't know that a diseased village is a good village for a medicine man. If a medicine man goes to a village and there's no sickness there, you become redundant.
You want to exploit
So I'm indicating to you
Yeah.
that if they fail to do their work and we do our work correctly, does it not to our benefit?
Is that what you're doing here?
I'm just indicating to you, just commonsensical argument.
I'm just asking, what is the interest of this country in all of this?
If they exhibit glaring incompetence such as they are doing and cannot even manage their numbers, because, and remember, and you see, Raymond, let's situate it in the certain political mindset.
Okay.
The mindset is that of a certain crass arrogance of power. The NPP has been consumed by an arrogance of power where they feel that they have the power, they know it all, they will do it all. They don't need anybody. Let me just give you an example. In the last conference of the NPP in Kumasi, their annual delegates conference, no mean a person that His Excellency the President, President Nana Akufo-Addo, told them that some people have been making noise and parading themselves as having numbers in Parliament. They are in the comfortable majority. And he's urging them after the conference to come and pass the e-levy. Straight. They don't need our support. The President of the Republic, I heard you speaking to
Former Chief of Staff.
Former Chief of Staff, Mr. Kwabenya, and he exuded a lot of wisdom. That even when you have power, it is not for nothing our people say that no matter how broad your shoulders are, they can't go down a baobab tree. Okay. Because you are not the sole repository of knowledge. You will need somebody else's wisdom, collective wisdom, experience, and expertise to govern. So, in the stiff-necked arrogance of power that they are exhibiting, they say they don't want any support, any cooperation from us. That is it. And I'm just indicating to you, this is coming from no mean a person, the President of the Republic. He is the one giving directions to the leader of government business in the House. He takes direction from the presidency. And so if this is a posture, this is the posture of the leadership, both at the executive level and in Parliament. What do you expect?
Honorable,
what do you expect?
I'll take a break, but the question, you've not answered the question.
Yes.
What will you do in the minority if government is not doing anything, if the majority is not doing anything?
Because, remember, we are to hold the feet of government to the fire of accountability. That is our duty as those in opposition.
Are you going to demand accountability on the side of the Ghanaian people who are represented in Kwabenya, who are not represented in Parliament?
Do you know that the people of Sal don't even have an MP?
Yes.
You are complaining that your shoes are even have holes and the sun is burning you. What about the man walking barefooted?
On that note, we'll take a break. We'll come back and continue with Upfront. You welcome back to Upfront. My name is Raymond Dakwa. Tonight, we've been having this conversation about what's happening in Parliament. We start with the Adwoa Safo conundrum and a former Chief of Staff, Kwabenya, give us some appreciation and understand what we can do on this particular matter. We are now staying in Parliament with the man who speaks for the minority, because it's been a very busy day. We're still very busy in Parliament, dealing with NIA matters too.
Yes.
But still, the issue surrounding the Honorable Adwoa Safo has been outstanding. There are also other issues coming up about Speaker's not so kind words to you in Parliament, and also to his first deputy, on the other things that are happening in Parliament. But so we don't move away from this point quite quickly, I want final words from you on this one. Exactly what do you people know that we, the ordinary people, do not know about this issue to do with the Kwabenya MP that is so protracted, that it's become so much of a problem that we are all in some form of a whirlwind on this matter?
Yeah, you see, let me say from the very outset that assuming Adwoa Safo, Honorable Adwoa Safo, were to land in Parliament right now, and they brought the e-levy, it will fail.
How so?
Because as I speak to you now, they don't have the numbers.
They will have
it's not only Adwoa Safo.
7 plus the independent.
No, they can't make that number. I'm telling you. Some of their people are not well. Let me just put it for want of a better term.
How many?
I can tell you that currently, out of the jurisdiction I would know, about 2 or 3. They can't
be in Parliament.
Yes,
but they were there previously.
They cannot. So you see,
marshal enough numbers to reverse your decision.
Honorable Adwoa Safo is just a convenient scapegoat. It's not only her. That's why I told you that if Adwoa Safo, Honorable Adwoa Safo should land today and they bring the e-levy bill on, they will lose. Because I can tell you without any iota of doubt that all the 137, by the grace of Allah Almighty, the 137 members of the NDC, we are intact. But they don't have the full complement of their 137, plus the independent member who will make it 138. They don't.
What happened to cooperation?
So what happened to consensus? And you see, doesn't it sound intriguing, amazing to you, that a minister of state who, when was voluntarily appointed, okay, accepted to be appointed, gave the president his her assent that she accepted to be appointed because they will ask you, okay, accepted the office, actually went to the office, actually started work, and in the process abandons the office. Raymond, that's why I say that the bandicoot is very comfortable in the hole, but when you see it running out of the hole, there's something unpleasant happening inside there and the hole that it does.
What is this unpleasant?
So that is why I'm indicating to you that something unpleasant has been done to Honorable Madam Adwoa Safo.
It's not strange that
it is not on record, but we have heard.
Yes.
That look, following allegations that were made of malfeasance and corruption with the handling of the school feeding program.
Okay.
When she assumed office, she was met with demonstrations by MPP women organizers. You know what they've done is that the school feeding it has been given to MPP branch women organizers.
It appears with all political parties.
I am just stating a fact.
Yeah.
The fact that it has existed somewhere else is not an excuse to say that it's not.
I'm not even justifying
Exactly.
Just that you conveniently left out. That's what I'm saying, that all political parties appoint their own into school feeding. It's a known fact.
I know. Your headache today doesn't mean nobody had headache in the past.
I agree with you.
So, fine. I'm indicating that. So, this is it. And so, they embarked on demonstration and came to the place. The gender ministry met, submitted petitions and called for investigations.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Now, from what we hear, investigations have been in one way, form or another commenced, pointed out to allegations being made against Mrs. Kwashiga. So
the woman she sacked.
Exactly. So as a minister, she writes to indicate that maybe following what information has been made available to her, this is what she's telling. So I think that is I heard was an interdiction, not even a sack.
Okay.
To pave way for further investigations. Now, without recourse to the minister, because when you are made minister, you are asked to superintend on the daily running of the ministry.
But you are still the
without recourse to her, the Jubilee House reverses the matter and puts this one in the public domain without recourse to the minister. What kind of governance is this?
But it's not collective.
That is gross disrespect for the minister. The president, he has the responsibility to appoint and dismiss ministers, no doubt.
Yeah.
But the president, out of decorum and respect for the minister he himself has appointed, must defer to the minister on some matters.
Okay.
At least, if for nothing at all, even get the minister informed that, look, this is what I want to do. following what you have done, can you look at it that the president is a powerful figure? He can always persuade the minister to do what he wants to do. But I've just told you that the MPP is intoxicated with arrogance of power. And that permeates the whole spectrum of their political
to your mind,
activity. And so,
if the gentleman that we voted for,
so I am indicating to you,
the power
if this thing happens this way,
yeah,
Raymond, if you are put in the ministry and decisions are taken left and right and announcements are made, and you are sitting there as a minister, you don't know what is going on.
Resign. That's an option, right? Resign.
Will you be happy?
Won't she resign?
In certain instances,
yeah,
resignation is not the only way. Stand your ground and ask them and dare them that they should dismiss you.
So that's what she's doing.
Yes, so she dared her ground that I'm not leaving. I'm not going to the office because you don't recognize me as a minister, because you have taken my work and you are doing it, and you are giving ultimatum. Okay, if you don't want, resign. And I said no, I won't resign. Dismiss me, but I won't go to the office. I won't go to the office. I will resign. You can dismiss me. So you see.
But
that is why
all of this is not the state's business.
Raymond.
It's not the business of the Republic of Ghana that's hurting.
You see,
are we putting the interest of Ghana first?
Raymond, you see, it is not for nothing that our people say that if an adult patronizes the play of children, you will carry their drum, their phantom from.
Okay.
You will carry it. Because like I said, the president is all powerful. He can have a mechanism for calling any minister to order and giving appropriate resources. But you see, the walking stick has where you hold it. If you hold it the wrong way, it's an offensive weapon. So, in particular in this matter, it was not properly handled.
Okay,
that
sounds like a small issue, right?
It's not.
Why should he?
It touches at the very core, not just of the competence of the minister, but her integrity. I cannot pretend over a ministry, and I hear announcements outside about key issues and decisions that are made in the ministry, and I don't even know about it. It means there's no respect for you.
Do you think this will end anytime soon?
Raymond, if you bring ant-infested firewood to your house, lizards will visit you as far as the ants continue to remain in the firewood. So this particular matter, like I said, those who think it is just a simplistic something, they can wish away Adwoa Safo today or tomorrow, are mistaken. It is not as simple as that.
She has the support of the minority.
I just told you that I will stand up for her. She's not a member of the NDC.
I see.
But I will stand up for her. So that tomorrow, if anybody commits that same wrong against me, she will stand up for me.
Quite conveniently, isn't it?
You may say so. But the most important point is stand by the principle
for
first.
Political
if
capital.
Convenience comes as a result of standing by principle, hallelujah. So be it.
I'll just move on. What is it with you in the parliament that the speaker is so offended by your conduct? Today he asked people to shut up. He actually said that you make him sick. What is it? In fact, he's been threatening that some of you may have to be, actually invite the police or get you arrested.
No,
if you don't be, get you arrested, marshals, yeah.
He said the marshal, not arrested, but you get the marshals to escort you out.
Oh, okay, so he'll throw you out of the parliament.
Mr. Speaker would not effect the arrest. In fact, he is the father who has to protect members of parliament.
I get you, but why
of course,
the parliament of the Republic of Ghana, this particular one, of a kind that is unheard of, unseen in our practice, why is it degenerating?
Let me say without any out of that, this is one of the most effective, if not the most effective parliament under the aegis of the fourth.
The speaker may disagree.
No, Mr. Speaker agrees. I'm telling you.
So why was it?
Even he himself, Mr. Speaker himself, has had the occasion to say that democracy is beginning to work.
Why is he complaining?
Because you see, of course, there will be some excesses. Part of the excess, Mr. Speaker, is delivering a message. And members are jiggling on the floor. And there's so much noise at a particular time that the message that Mr. Speaker seeks to convey to members is not being heard.
There's total breakdown of discipline in the House.
It happens time without number.
Yeah, one
so
too
obviously,
many, actually.
Yes,
one
you know
too
that,
many.
Yeah, even though the mother dog is patient and will not bite the puppy to the bone, but it will give it to you small.
Okay.
So that the puppy feels that he is angry. Okay? So, after some time, Mr. Speaker, having had this over the time, will naturally reach a tipping point that he thinks that, no, the way noise takes place in the chamber. Because if I remember, sometimes even you can hear even phone calls.
Really?
All of a sudden, it comes on. Somebody forgets maybe to put it on silent. It bells. And Mr. Speaker is delivering something. It will distract him. The noise that you make in conversations between members of parliament distracts him. So he wants to instill a semblance of order in the house. So that's why he says that, look, from now onwards, if anybody is boisterous while proceedings are ongoing, you take steps to ask the...
Were you disappointed when the speaker did not reverse the decision of his deputy, who had actually reversed or actually overruled his decision on the COVID expenditure review?
You want my honest opinion?
Yes.
Yes.
You were disappointed?
Yes. But understandably, I was disappointed. Look, Mr. Speaker himself said that it is not only illegal, that what the first deputy speaker did, and take note, Raymond, this is not the first time the first deputy speaker's act of misconduct, when he's in the chair, has been taken on by Mr. Speaker. You remember in the previous one, when he sought to count himself, and then also said he was getting down to go and vote, knowing very well that you are anybody who is precise has no vote, and you want to get up and go and vote. Mr. Speaker referred to all those things and said they were acts of misconduct, and that he should not, and that followed a decision he, Mr. Speaker, had taken before he traveled.
Okay.
He set it aside. So today, Mr. Speaker got back again and said that he took serious exception. First and foremost, it was illegal. And he went through the standing orders of the House and the Constitution of this Republic to indicate why it was illegal, why it was unconstitutional. But even added that it was even offensive to him, Mr. Speaker, that his deputy should always take advantage of his absence to reverse his decision, and that Mr. Speaker's decisions and then the House cannot be reversed by him.
And yet he left it at that.
So that is why...
After the lamentations, Raymond, he left it at that.
Yes, Raymond. That is why I'm saying that, you see, if you allow a puppy closer to your mouth, it will lick your lips.
I don't get the point connection to this one.
Yes, because it happened, I just indicated to you, it happened
the
before.
Previous one,
Mr. Speaker should have, after establishing that it was illegal, unconstitutional, illegitimate, should have gone the full mile. But Mr. Speaker is
what? Mr.
Speaker is sometimes overly magnanimous.
Okay.
He was overly magnanimous then, and so today, because if I was Speaker, I would have clipped the wings of the first deputy speaker. Because to allow him to continue in that level of defiance and illegitimacy, illegality, unconstitutionality, is to equip him with more vim to act more unconstitutionally, more illegally, and to flout your authority as Speaker. So Mr. Speaker, on this particular occasion, should have called him to order, should have reversed what he did, and reinstate the motion. Because you see, in reinstating the motion, first and foremost, he was doing what was legally right and proper.
Because of COVID expenditure.
Which government? Raymond, I ask this fundamental question. If you haven't stolen, you don't run in a market. So when you see somebody busily speeding in the market, watch him, he has committed some atrocity or a crime. Because government must accept the fact that government has a bounding duty to account to the good people of this country.
Through the Public Accounts Committee, through the audit reports.
Why? What is the use of Parliament? That a committee of Parliament, when it finds something going wrong, cannot go into it? Then it's useless.
My time is up.
And if you are talking about the Auditor General's report only comes in as a report to the Parliament, which is then referred to that decision. So it may not even include this one. That is not to say that no parliamentary committee can investigate. And I'm asking you, Raymond, why will a government be running away from accountability? And if you know that you have done the right thing, you have spent the money judiciously and in the way that the law says, why are you running away from accountability?
Honorable Ebiofseni, thank you so much for coming.
You see,
I appreciate your time today.
So that's why
I ran out of time.
That's why I'm saying that a man who does not want to see calamity seeks remedy from his feet. That's why they are running away. They know the calamity that will come as a result of the exposure. And this government is so opaque, they cannot stand the test of critical scrutiny.
Thank you so much, Honorable. And folks, that's where we end today's edition of UPfront. My name is Raymond Dakwa.